Hello, Wildcat parents. My name is Dr. Macalino, and I'm the instructional specialist here at Oak Grove Middle School. So on the evening of Thursday, March 25, 2021, we had a mandatory parent orientation specifically for parents who elected for their child or their children to be a hybrid learner here at Oak Grove. So before I get started with the presentation, on behalf of the admin team, I want to apologize for the delays and the mishaps that we had. We had a lot of technical difficulties. So for those of you who tuned in last night, thank you for bearing with us. If you were not able to join us last night, this is the presentation that we shared with our families. So this video is specifically for hybrid learners here at Oak Grove. If you chose for your child to remain as a 100% distance learner, please check on our YouTube channel or on our school website, because we have a video specifically just for the 100% distance learners. So we have a lot of slides here. I might skip through certain slides, but I'm just, because it's a very long presentation, and so I want to make it as short and sweet as possible. Okay, just a quick introduction. So last night, you met the administrative team. It started off with our principal, Mrs. Montgomery, followed by Mr. Ramirez, our vice principal, Ms. Hernandez, vice principal, and then by myself, Dr. Macalino, the school instructional specialist. Okay, so here we have the bell schedule that we have been following and implementing for the past year. Yes, I know it's the year. It was a long, long year, but actually it went by really fast. A lot of things were happening this past year. But this is the bell schedule that we have followed, and it is ending today. I say today because I'm recording this today, Friday, March 26th. So this bell schedule ends on March 26, 2021. And so we do have a new bell schedule that is going to start on March 29. And so this is just a quick summary of what we've been doing to help parents and students, specifically students, to transition to our new Oak Grove bell schedule. So on Wednesday, we had a school-wide lesson plan during DLI first period, followed by orientations. We had an orientation specifically for hybrid learners, and then we had another orientation specifically for the 100% distance learners. And then Thursday, Friday, March 25 and March 26, we had an alternative bell schedule. And it's simply because we needed to shorten the class periods so that way our teachers can prepare for the new bell schedule, especially the hybrid teachers. The hybrid teachers will be back on campus, and so they needed time to move back into their classrooms. Before I show you the new bell schedule, I wanted to go over key terms, because when you look at the new bell schedule, you're going to be seeing these terms. The bell schedule could look pretty overwhelming. So please bear with me as I define each of the terms that you will find on the bell schedule. Okay, so we'll start off with the 100% distance learner. So that's pretty much what your child has been for the past year, a 100% distance learner. And that is when all the instruction and learning is taking place in a virtual setting. And in our case here at Oak Grove, the virtual setting has been either through Zoom or Google Meets. Then now, starting on March 29, Oak Grove, we're going to have hybrid learners. We're going to have hybrid learners. And a hybrid learner, it's a combination of students learning through a virtual setting as well as learning in person at Oak Grove Middle School. Asynchronous learning time. Asynchronous learning time is just another way of saying mandatory independent student practice. Asynchronous learning is mandatory independent student practice. And what are students expected to do or required to do during asynchronous learning time? It is an opportunity for Wildcats to start and finish their assignments, whether it's classwork or homework, to make up or redo assignments, review their notes, read a book, attend teacher office hours if they have any questions about any type of assignment. And then if your child is an 8th grader, this is a perfect opportunity for your child to work on the 8th grade project. What does it mean to prepare for learning? You'll notice on the new schedule, it recommends that the preparation for learning should be between 8 to 8:30. So we are asking students to set their cell phone alarm so that they wake up, so they can brush their teeth, dress appropriately. Very important to eat breakfast. If you haven't charged your computer the night before, this is a perfect opportunity while you're getting ready to charge your computer, gather any books or any other materials that your classes for that day require. Perhaps log on to Google Classroom. Many of your teachers post their do nows and assignments in their Google Classrooms. Or if you didn't have the chance to finish your assignments last night, this is an opportunity once again for you to study or finish classwork or homework. Student transition. So specifically student transitions for hybrid learners, it means that that is your time to commute to Oak Grove Middle School. So in other words, for you to get from your living room couch or wherever you study in your home, at your home, to Oak Grove Middle School. And that's through either a car, bus, walking, bicycle, whatever you do to get you from your home to Oak Grove Middle School. However, if you are to remain a 100% distance learner, what student transition means is either you're continuing your independent practice or you're taking a mental health break, such as a short walk around the neighborhood. Mental health breaks are definitely important. Virtual classroom. I feel like we already know what the definition is on that, but once again, virtual classroom is the online classroom setting. And here at Oak Grove, we either use Google Meets and Zoom, depending on the teacher. And then lastly, daily live interaction is DLI. Every Wednesday here at Oak Grove, during 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., students report to their DLI first period class. And during that weekly Wednesday, the Wildcats learn about multicultural holidays and celebrations. However, specifically for the 8th graders, they have been, since February, they've been specifically working on their 8th grade service project during DLI time. Okay, so now let's look at the new bell schedule that's starting March 29 and will end on June 2nd. So yes, there's a lot going on here. As you can see, all the terms that I defined, they're scattered and sprinkled all over this schedule. So I do want to point something out. The majority of this schedule should be familiar to you and to your child. It's basically, I want to say it's about 90% the same. So if you just pretend you don't see the very bottom, which is from 12:55 to 3, let's just focus on the times from 8 o'clock to 12:55. This is the old schedule. In a sense, this is the old schedule. The only difference is that the classes, periods 1 through 7, instead of them being 60 minutes long, they are now 45 minutes long. But Monday, Thursday are periods 1 through 4, Tuesday, Friday, periods 5 through 7, and then Wednesday is the first period DLI class. So why are the classes now only 45 minutes long? Well, because we needed to make time for the bottom. Now you can focus on the 12:55 to 3 o'clock time. We needed to make time to accommodate the hybrid schedule. So let's break it down and let's really focus in on the hybrid, what it means to be a hybrid learner, what the schedule looks like for a hybrid learner. Okay, so within the hybrid learners, to make sure that we maintain and practice social distancing, we wanted to split the groups into 2 groups. We have, and the groups here are called stable A and stable B. If your child is a hybrid learner stable A student, that means on Monday and Tuesday, your child will report to Oak Grove for in-person learning from 12:55 to 3. And then on Thursday, Friday, your child from 12:55 to 3 o'clock will be an asynchronous learner. Okay, but then now we have hybrid learner stable B. If your Wildcat is a hybrid learner stable B, that means that on Monday, Tuesday, your Wildcat is an asynchronous learner. And then he or she will end the week Thursday, Friday, reporting to Oak Grove in person from 12:55 to 3. So let's just see it through the lens of a hybrid learner stable A student. So you'll see everything is the same. And then you'll notice here at the bottom, that is the time for the student to report to school in person Monday and Tuesday from 12:55 to 3. And then on Thursday, Friday, our Wildcat student is an asynchronous learner Thursday, Friday from 12:55 to 3. Followed by here, the perspective of a hybrid learner stable B student. So a hybrid learner stable B student is an asynchronous learner Monday and Tuesday from 12:55 to 3, and then ends the week as an in-person student at Oak Grove from 12:55 to 3. So the question is, how do I know? I mean, obviously I know if my student's a hybrid student, but then how do I know if my child is a stable A student or a stable B student? And let me just change this here. My apologies. The date should say March 26th, and today's March 26th. I'm recording this message on March 26th. But on Friday, March 26th, starting at 5 p.m., all students should be able to view their schedule on Aries portal. So once again, Friday, March 26th at 5 p.m., starting at 5 p.m., all students should be able to view their schedule on Aries portal. So once I log on to Aries portal, once again, the question is, how do I know if my child is a hybrid learner A or hybrid learner B? Well, when you read your child's schedule, you want to look for these key terms. If you notice on your child's schedule, you see a 0 period strategic support, that means that your child is a hybrid learner stable A. However, if you notice that your child's period says 8th period strategic support, you need to make sure that means that your child is a hybrid learner stable B student. So once again, when you read your child's schedule, if you see the word 0 period strategic support, that means stable A. However, if you notice the words 8th period strategic support, that means stable B. So here's an example. Here's a real student schedule. This student has 0 period strategic support with Mrs. Neathold. That means that this student is a hybrid learner stable A. And then here with this student's schedule has 8th period strategic support with Mrs. Neathold. And that means this student is a hybrid learner stable B. So now we are moving on to on-campus expectations. So we are very excited. When I say we, I'm talking about the 8 people that have been here. We are very excited to see other people. It's, you know, we miss hearing other voices and seeing other people on campus. Your teachers are also excited to return on campus. All right, everyone's just been in their own social bubble, right? Because we need to stay safe and healthy. And so we want to remain safe and healthy. So that means that we need to make sure that we follow the rules, the signs, the expectations as a hybrid learner. And to our hybrid learners, when you return to school, for our hybrid learners stable A group, you're going to be returning to school on Monday, the 29th. Stable B students, hybrid students will be returning to campus on Thursday, April 1st. You'll notice that the campus looks a bit different. It is decorated with all these signs, but even though it's covered with signs, they're there for a reason. It's there for our safety. So we are, the expectation is for you to follow the signs. So when everyone, even adults, when they enter campus, they must have taken the health survey. All right, so every morning, someone from the main office is going to send a hybrid-wide survey to your email. You must take that survey. That survey asks you to respond to questions. If you're feeling ill, if you're coughing, if you think you have a fever, you have to answer those questions honestly, because if you do feel sick, we are asking that you stay home. Okay. Ideally, we want you to fill out the health survey at home before you come to campus. However, if you weren't able to do so, we will have tables out here because hybrid learners are expected to bring their laptop, their Chromebooks to school. So we will have tables for you to put your Chromebook on so that way you could take the health survey. Or if you do have a cell phone, you could scan the QR code. So as you can see here, if you haven't done so already, here's the daily student health survey. Okay, it says, I took my temperature this morning. I have do I have a cough or a stomach ache? Have you been around someone who's been recently sick? And so those are questions that we ask you to respond to. It should only take you maybe less than 10 seconds to fill out this health survey. So let's say you did take the survey and you felt perfectly fine before you went to school, but then you notice maybe like an hour into your in-person learning, you notice that you didn't feel well. Well, we do have health rooms for you to separate yourself just in case you are feeling sick and you need to be looked at by an adult. You will be escorted there by one of the campus security officers, and Our health room is going to be in the music building. The music building. The reason why it's in the music building is because it has a separate entrance to individual offices. Okay. It's there in the music room, once again, because it has a separate entrance to small separate offices. And that way it could keep everyone safe, staff and students. You'll notice that next to all of the sinks, that there are signs in Spanish and English, just reminding students and adults to wash their hands for a minimum of 20 seconds. Okay, so after you use the bathroom, if you accidentally touch your eye, or at any time you felt like you got your hands dirty or possibly infected, they are asking you to wash your hands, and to wash your hands with soap and in water for at least 20 seconds. All right, and then you'll also notice here too that, as I said, there are signs everywhere. There are signs that remind students to constantly to wear a mask, to stay 6 feet apart, even if you're close friends with someone. You just never know. You need to remain 6 feet apart. You'll also see signs on desks and chairs that say, please do not sit here. So once again, students, there should be no argument. Please just don't sit there. And if an adult asks you to get up and move, let's not make it an argument. Just find another place. This is for your health and safety. Okay, you'll notice that the water fountains are closed. However, if you bring your own water bottle, the water bottle filler is still open. And so that way you could just fill up your water bottle and yeah, and you could just hydrate yourself, because that is important. We definitely want you to hydrate yourself. Okay, you will notice the bathrooms. There's 6 people person capacity in the boys' bathroom. You'll notice some stalls are covered up. Please do not use those stalls. All right, and then in the girls' occupancy, 5 people maximum capacity, same thing. Certain sinks are closed, certain stalls are closed. Therefore, please do not use them. All right, so you will notice that pre-COVID, you had anywhere from 32 to 35 desks in the classroom. But because of COVID, and we want to make sure that everyone's safe and practicing social distancing in the classroom, you will notice that most classes have anywhere between 12 to 16 desks, and that just depends on the size of the classroom. So the doors, I'm sorry, I know at times it can be kind of cold, but that's why we ask you to dress in layers and to dress warmly, because the doors have to remain open, as well as at least 1 or 2 windows for air circulation. And then, yes, I think I touched on this before, but then all sinks have the signs to remind you to wash your hands. But in addition to that, we made sure that each sink in the classroom has hand sanitizer, soap. That way you could always wash your hands when needed. You will also notice that along the pavement, there are arrows. And it's there because we want students to once again practice staying 6 feet apart, and to guide traffic flow. All right, so that way, if you notice that the signs are telling you to point that way, please do not, or a certain direction, please do not go the opposite way. All right, we're really trying to minimize direct contact. That is the purpose behind the arrows, okay, to direct traffic and to minimize direct contact. Okay, hybrid students, stable A and B. Okay, the pickup and drop off area, that's the staff parking lot. You are required to bring your Chromebook and charger to school and other necessary materials, but really you should not be bringing a lot, okay? And you should not be bringing food. No one is going to be allowed to eat on campus for everyone's safety. And the only thing that you are allowed to bring is water or your water bottle. This is very important. Gates will be open for arrival between 12:45 and 12:55. Okay, so there should be no reason for students to come to school early. The gates will open at 12:45 and the gates will be locked and closed by 1 p.m. Hybrid students must wear their hybrid student ID. So IDs will be distributed on March 29 and April 1. So March 29 for the stable A students, stable B, April 1 during your hybrid in-person period. Students will be escorted to the main office and bathroom. Dismissal. Students will walk to their front entrance of the school with her or his teacher and classmates between 2:55 and 3. Only come to school on your assigned hybrid in-person school days. No hanging out and loitering on school campus. Follow social distancing rules and expectations at all times. Follow the signs. And remember to always follow the Wildcat 4Rs, rules and expectations at all times. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all of this verbatim, but this is, I don't know if you guys remember, but this was a school-wide lesson plan about a month and a half, 2 months ago, where we asked all DLI classes as a class discussion to define what it means to be a Wildcat. And meaning that it doesn't matter if we are distance learners, hybrid learners, in-person learners. At the end of the day, this is what it meant to be a Wildcat. And you were asked to define how you would describe what it looks like, a Wildcat who is a risk taker, responsible, respectful, and resilient. This one I will read aloud. This is very important. This is very specific. Once again, students came up with this during their DLI period of what it means to be a Wildcat in a virtual classroom. I know that you are a hybrid student. However, even if you're a hybrid student, you are still taking place in a virtual classroom. You're still learning in a virtual classroom in the morning. Okay, so let's start off here. In a virtual classroom, I show that I'm a risk taker when I have my camera on. Participate in class by responding or asking questions verbally and or typing in the chat when I'm attempting all assignments, even when I feel they are challenging. Responsible. In a virtual classroom, I show that I am responsible when I arrive to class on time and I'm focused on productive. When I check my Google Classroom for assignments and submit them in a timely manner. When I check my grades and progress on Aries Portable. Respectful. In a virtual classroom, I am respectful when I mute myself when I'm not talking, have camera on at least when I'm talking and presenting, and when I interact positively with my classmates and teachers and stay on topic, whether it's verbally, in the chat, or breakout rooms. Resilient. In a virtual classroom, I am resilient when I reach out for help from classmates, teachers, and or the main office through email, text message, phone call, or office hours. When I continue to do my best and keep showing up, and when I ask for academic or mental health wellness support. Okay, here we have the Oak Grove Middle School dress code policy. So pre-COVID-19, Wildcats are expected to follow the Oak Grove school dress code policy, which consisted of a school uniform, right? However, the implementation of the uniform policy will be temporarily put on hold from March 29 to June 2nd. So instead, during the hybrid COVID-19 schedule, Oak Grove will only strictly enforce the Mount Diablo Unified School District dress code policy. So I did not want to cut and paste the entire dress code policy. That would take about like 3 to 4 slides, okay? If you're curious and you want to know what the full dress code policy is, you could go online and you could type in dress code, MDUSD dress code policy, AR 5132, student dress and grooming for complete details. But here, as the admin team, we just decided to narrow it down to these for the sake of the presentation. So no hats and beanies and hoodies worn indoors. Shirts, tank tops, dresses, skirts must be appropriate length. No pajama pants, spandex leggings, yoga pants, and jeans or pants with excessive rips and holes, particularly with holes above the knee. Undergarments may not be showing whether you're female or male. Gang attire, chain necklaces, and clothing are not permitted. Blue and red colors may not be your primary base color. So for example, students cannot wear a red sweatshirt, but can wear a yellow sweatshirt or any other color of sweatshirt with a red design on it, such as flowers or shapes. So once again, the blue and red colors may not be the primary base color. In other words, the main base color of your outfit. Inappropriate language, advertisements such as alcohol, drugs, tobacco, weapons, or any lewd graphics or language are not permitted. Shoes must be worn at all times. In other words, your shoes must be closed toe and it must have an enclosed back. So think about it. Slippers that is not allowed. Okay, you need to wear shoes. Closed toe shoes with an enclosed back. And sunglasses are not worn in the classroom. So once again, for the sake of keeping this presentation as short as sweet as possible, here were the main ones that we felt were relevant to our school concerns and needs. But if you want the full dress code policy, that's pretty long, you would go to MDUSD dress code policy AR 5132, student dress and grooming. Okay, so non-negotiables. So here are the non-negotiables, because we want to make sure that everyone feels safe at all times. The mask, even if you are outside, even if you are amongst friends that you feel comfortable with, the mask needs to remain on at all times. It's not going to be brought down below the nose or below the mouth. It needs to remain on the entire time. Students, once again, even if you feel safe with someone, you must remain 6 feet apart. You need to follow the guidelines. So once again, an example would be everything that I just said. And then also, if you notice that there's a sign that says don't sit here, or don't use this sink, or don't use this bathroom stall, do not do it. And please remember to wash your hands. Wash your hands. I'm going to skip this because obviously you know where to find the information. You're watching this YouTube video right now, but if even after you watch this YouTube video, if you still have any questions, please feel free to email any of your teachers, administrator, call the main office. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you all. So Stable A, your first day of school is March 29, 2021. If you're a hybrid student, Stable B, your first day of school is April 1, 2021. And parents, if you are a hybrid, if your child is a hybrid student, you need to make sure that you fill out the mandatory parent survey. It's called the Oak Grove Middle School Family Compact Agreement Form. So if you do not sign the compact agreement form and agree to it, then your child cannot report to school and be a hybrid student. This compact form, and you'll see the link, it's on the website. It's basically saying that you understand that your child must follow the rules, and that your child must absolutely follow the non-negotiables, or abide by the non-negotiables for the health and safety of staff and students. So please check out the link on our website. So Wildcat parents, Wildcat hybrid parents, I hope you found this video helpful. Please, if you haven't done so, like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. So thank you.